Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoBalls Talk Through Time and Space. I'm ProtoMet.
I'm here.
But are we really?
No, we're not.
Right. I'm Barry.
I'm ProtoMet.
And today we are on the edge of destruction. The Doctor Who story.
Are we?
No, you're right.
We have Marco Polo.
I was going to use the title of the second episode, but whatever.
Oh, the brink of destruction?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, too bad. I like being a buzzkill. Womp womp. So what's everyone up to? It's been a while.
So when we last left off, the Doctor and his associates had managed to defeat the Daleks with the help of the Thals, and managed to flee, only for devastation to rock the TARDIS.
That is correct. And then they managed to fix it.
I mean, I guess that's a pretty brief summary of this story.
Yeah.
Kind of anticlimactic when you put it that way.
I mean, we've got another 50 years of this, so they had to have 60 years of this, so they had to have fixed it. How do you think they fixed it?
I was gonna say a plot hole. There are probably a few of those lying around.
Probably. So yeah, Edge of Destruction, Brink of Disaster. It's a two-parter.
Which is shockingly not the shortest story in the original classic run.
Somehow.
There is actually one that is surprisingly shorter than this. But we'll talk about that much later. Unless we want to jump ahead. But
that's like a season and a half away. So Edge of Destruction, it's a two-parter. It kind of was written last minute because they weren't sure exactly if the show was gonna. Well, they had originally written it as a two-parter because they weren't sure if the show was gonna
go past the 13th episode.
So they just sort of threw it together, and by the time that they had gotten clearance to continue the season, they had already blown the budget on Marco Polo, which is the next serial and one that we're also doing today.
Because of how short this one is.
Because of how short this one is, yes. So, with that in mind, the Marco Polo had a huge budget in comparison. For a low-budget television show, it had a huge budget. And unfortunately, we can't actually see how that budget was played out. Because, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Marco Polo is missing. Most of it is.
Yeah.
The only evidence we have is still photos and
audio recordings.
And audio recordings, because BBC used to do a thing where they would record the audio separate from the footage.
I heard that it was actually from like fan recordings.
Oh, was it?
Or at least that's what I think a documentary I was watching a bit of mentioned.
Long story short, they got audio from other sources, but they also had snippets of audio from it, and they had stills from production that they used. So they basically put that together, and on the first DVD set, which is Unearthly Child, Daleks,
and Edge of
Destruction, they threw it on there as like a bonus. It's like a 40-minute special on the DVD.
The means of construction is referred to as telesnap.
Yes.
You actually can watch the entire run of the classic Doctor Who almost entirely thanks to these telesnap reconstructions.
Yep.
If you don't have, access to the original episode itself. then at least the telesnaps exist.
Yeah. As it stands, though, so Marco Polo is the first of the series that is missing, and this is going to become something of a common theme
for the next 5 years.
For the next 5 years of Doctor Who's run, there is, I believe, there's about 65 episodes out of the show's entire 6-year black and white run that are missing, and I think that's out of 128 episodes. So that's like half.
Thankfully for most fans, once you get to season 7 and onward, there's nothing missing, because BBC was like, oh shit, we fucked up. We gotta preserve as much of this as we can.
Well, there was almost a Pertwee serial that almost went missing, but then they found like a backup of it, and I forget which one it was exactly.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure it gets mentioned on like the Blu-ray extras or whatever.
Probably. And a lot of the stuff that has been found has either been found in like far off places, like Enemy. What was it? The Enemy Within.
Enemy of the World.
Or Enemy of the World was found.
Was almost completely lost, save for one episode. Until they found the rest of them.
Yeah, they had only one episode in their archives, but then like this Brazilian like studio had like a backup copy of it and sent it to BBC, and there's a lot of stories of just them finding lost Doctor Who media in just the strangest of places.
Yeah, Doctor Who is basically the poster child for lost media. And the effort and the intense efforts to actually find and preserve this kind of media.
Luckily, the BBC has also done a fantastic job of recreating a ton of these lost episodes, because some of these episodes, some of these serials, BBC figures, we're never gonna find it again. It's like, it's been 60 years. We're never going to find this stuff again. We might as well recreate it ourselves with the audio that we had. Because, as I was mentioning, they recorded the audio separate from the film. So that you had the film audio, and then you had the audio that they both recorded simultaneously for it. And so they would recreate it they would reanimate the serials.
There are a bunch that are newly animated, and like I mentioned, the telesnap reconstructions, which...
Yep. There's the telesnap reconstructions, there's the animated reconstructions.
Some of which look a lot better than others. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of the animated versions of the missing episodes of Web of Fear, but...
Hey, just wait till we get to Shada. That whole can of worms. For those who don't know, Shada...
For those of you who don't know, we're not going to explain it here. Wait till we do Shada.
Shada's a good time. It took 40 years for it to get remade, but hey, it finally did. Anyways. Remade. It got remade, okay? Because they abandoned it.
It wasn't so much remade as made. Finally. They finally finished it. It's like Cobbler and the Thief.
Thank you, Douglas Adams, for all your efforts.
He didn't do Cobbler and the Thief.
No, he didn't. But he did do Shada.
He also did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
Good
yes,
read.
he did. Yes, he did. So anyway, everyone's unconscious. The ship's in disarray, or about as much disarray as you can with the low budget. And
when nearly everybody recovers, they're not quite sure what's going on. Susan is
homicidal.
The Doctor is paranoid.
An asshole.
Which is not too unusual for him at this point in the series, unfortunately.
He is an asshole, though.
He is an asshole, though. But
he gets better.
I think this story actually helps him to get better.
Well, yeah, because he's proven wrong throughout the whole thing. He's like, I can figure out what's going on, and he doesn't figure out.
I can figure out what's going on. Okay, I can't figure out what's going on. What'd you do to my ship? I didn't do anything to your ship. Right, you didn't do anything to my ship.
I still blame you, though. This is your fault. This is all your fault, somehow. I just need the evidence to fit into place so I can blame you. And there's a lot of weird special effects, like time is melting, the ship is going haywire, there's a lot of alarms going off in the ship. Unfortunately, we do not get the cloister bell yet.
I'm not terribly familiar with that, so I'm sure I will once I get that far.
Cloister bell's first introduced in Legopolis. So you're quite a ways off. To put into perspective, ProtoMet right now, he is
halfway through season 9.
Yep. He just got done with Planet of the Daleks?
No, I actually just got done with the Sea Devils.
With the Sea Devils, okay. That one's a good one.
Yeah. A good follow-up to Silurians.
Yes.
Even if the omnibus tries to distance itself from Silurians, despite the serial itself being like, oh yeah, no, this is totally Silurian adjacent, related.
Yep.
I mean, I can understand why they did it, because the creatures in this look nothing like the Silurians. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
We're not that far yet.
Barbara's like the only sane woman in the entire ship, by the way, because Ian's weird.
He's a bit out of sorts himself. The doctor has a head injury that Susan repairs with a... Let's
be honest. The doctor and Ian both have concussions. Let's just call it that as it is. Ian especially has concussion-like symptoms. He's just...
Okay, so then why is the doctor the only one given any treatment?
Because he was the one controlling the ship.
Oh, so they need him to recover
Yeah,
quickest.
they need him to recover the fastest. And they've got, like...
Do they not have any more of these special bandages that are color...
You know what's funny is they introduce a bunch of...
interesting elements, for sure.
They introduced a couple things. They introduced... they brought back the food machine that was from the last serial, and they almost never bring it up again after this. I just want to point out, this is... it shows up twice and doesn't really come with consequence again.
This is true. Although, admittedly, since they have it, nobody needs to question, well, where are they getting all the food during all this? Well, there you go.
Yeah, where are they getting food? So the food machine's also broken. It's only giving water, though, but it says it's out of water. Which is a hint, by the way. Anybody who's seen Doctor Who for any length of time would know that the ship is kind of sentient. And this serial kind of goes out of its way to...
express that
almost implicitly. The ship is giving them a bunch of warnings throughout the two-parter,
and they're having trouble figuring out what it's trying to say, because I know they tried checking the fault locator, which is in like an adjacent room, and they're like, nothing wrong with the ship. There's nothing lighting up on the fault locator. So,
mind you, the fault locator was also introduced in the last serial, after the Doctor sabotaged everything. Yes. God, the Doctor's an asshole.
Yeah.
They're having problems with the main console too, because it's electrifying them. Well, electrifying Susan at least.
Yeah, so if they try to use the console, it shocks them, and it's like, no.
But it's only safe in one specific area of the console, which is another hint that the TARDIS is trying to warn them of something, but they're too dumb. They're too smooth-brained to figure it out right now.
I do kind of wish they had brought back the colored bandages, because that was an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It was treated with like ointment that would eventually disappear over the course of the story to indicate how far along the Doctor is in his recovery of his injury.
There was also the doors kept opening to the TARDIS. Like the door, whenever they would get near the doors, it would close. But whenever they walked away from it, it would open, and it'd be just nothing out there. There would be nothingness.
Susan attempts to murder
Barbara
Ian
and Barbara
with a pair of shears,
and that got them a lot of trouble at the BBC.
It's like, come on, you're not supposed to show somebody attacking another person with shears. Nobody got hurt. Also, those did look like they were pretty dangerous shears. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
They were long.
They were haircutting scissors.
I don't think you need...
It gets so bad that, like, the doctor drugs everyone. This is not a joke.
No, he puts a sedative in, like, everybody's drinks.
And, there's a couple of great quotes in it, like, the doctor and Ian are talking, and, you know, they're talking because, the doctor upset Barbara, Susan's all out of sorts, and the doctor is just like, I need more time. I just need more time to think. And he, like, Ian is, like, questioning his methods and everything. And the doctor goes, one man's law is another man's crime. And, you know, Ian's just like, you know, sometimes I just don't understand you. And the doctor's like, well, yeah, you're never going to be able to understand me. That's going to be a fruitless effort. Don't even try it, bro. Don't even try it, dude. Because I got too much brains up here.
I got more brains than you.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Bottle, or like a bag of milk spilling over. A carton of milk. That's a SpongeBob reference.
The first episode ends with the doctor having drugged pretty much everybody and going to approach the console to try and figure out what's going on, only for a pair of hands to reach for his throat.
Which, in the next episode, immediately is Ian's.
And it's revealed that he was just trying to warn the doctor not to approach the console because of the electrical shocks.
But damn it, the doctor sees what he wanted to see. He's gonna throw them off the ship, even if there's nothing out there. Because the doctor thinks, that'll solve everything. Murder!
He still has a head injury, so...
I guess.
Also, they haven't yet established that he's technically a pacifist.
Yeah.
Yet.
And he's...
I mean, this and him and his intention to murder somebody in an unearthly child.
And his willingness to have other people die for his causes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah. He's kind of an asshole in these first 3 serials. Not to say he's never an asshole after.
I mean, he's kind of a jerk in the next story, but it's not without reason.
What are you talking about? He's a big jerk for, like, the rest of the series. Have you not been watching the Third Doctor? He's a gigantic jerk.
Fair point.
Hell, I would go so far as to say, like, this is, like, the First Doctor is maybe the Doctor at his most, what's the word? Antisocial? I'm trying to think of the word. Misanthropic. That's the word. It's the Doctor at his most misanthropic. But the Fourth Doctor is, like, the cruelest one and the meanest one out of all of them. Because he's kind of just a jerk to a lot of people. And he does it intentionally. And anyways. So, eventually, like, the fault locator, the whole of it lights up. And they've been getting stuff on their scanner screen. Because they know nothing is out there, but they've been getting,
like, still images.
Still images of space. And all of it, like, zooming out from space. And all of it ending in, like, a white flash. And eventually, what the Doctor figures out is that there's
something wrong with the control panel in the spot that's not electrified.
Not only that, he realizes that something is pulling power away from his ship, which is why everything is going wrong. They've stumbled into an area that has caused them to be stuck in a way that they can't get out of. Because some tremendous force is causing it. And eventually, what the Doctor deduces is that they've accidentally stumbled into the creation of a galaxy, like a supernova of sorts, and that's what's causing their ship to...
I was interpreting it as them arriving at the Big Bang.
That too, possibly. It's either the Big Bang or like... Oh yeah, no, like the Big Bang, probably.
Because what ends up being wrong is that a switch that the Doctor had pressed before they left Skaro in the distant future, the spring inside it was busted. So instead of snapping back to the off position after the Doctor stops pressing it, it stays in the pressed position and has been sending them far back in time, even to the very beginning of time itself. And the TARDIS has been like, no, that's not a good thing.
Stop pressing the button. Oh my god.
And the reason why they weren't able to find it was because technically the mechanism wasn't broken. It was a single spring preventing the mechanism from shutting off.
It was stuck, basically.
And only the TARDIS figured out, hey, there's actually something wrong here. Do something about it.
Fix it. Fix it. And of course, the Hartnell has a fantastic monologue. He has a fantastic soliloquy before they figure out what's wrong with it, because he was like, "Oh, I figured it out. We're at the beginning, the very beginning. I was telling you." Because the column, the middle column that also rises up and down, went up, which means that something was drawing power away from it. And as we get established in the Ninth Doctor, opening up that middle column is a really bad idea. Nevertheless, he goes, I said that something of tremendous power would have to pull energy away from the ship. And that's what it is. We're at the beginning, the Big Bang. This is why everything's going wrong. And of course, they deduce that, like, oh, we've only got, like, 2 minutes to survive. Well, the Doctor's more like, we've got 10 minutes to survive. And then he pulls Ian aside and he's like,
we don't have 10 minutes. I was just telling them to try and make them feel better.
He's like, when the end comes, they won't see it coming. It's better for them. Which, kind of a dick move, but, like, I get it. Eventually they fix it, and there's a brilliant production gaffe, because apparently somebody had written in permanent marker the device that they were, underneath the device that they were supposed to fix. Somebody just left, like, a permanent marker writing of what the device was. The quick return, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, fast return, I think it was. And it's just written in permanent marker. And once you see it, it's just like, oh, okay. Somebody must have forgotten to remove it.
In universe, though, that could have been the Doctor writing that there, because he's not super familiar with the actual mechanics of the TARDIS.
Sure, let's go with that.
Because, like, for, like, the entire run of the first and second Doctor's run, the whole idea is that he has no idea where they're going to wind up whenever they travel.
Yep.
And since we eventually learn that he actually stole this TARDIS, we can deduce that maybe he wrote that note there to remind him of what everything does.
Whoa, nobody's supposed to know that yet.
Yeah, well, I used my own TARDIS called Hindsight.
Damn. You got me. The fuck am I gonna do now?
Cry like a bitch? That's an option.
I will end you.
Fair enough.
Okay. Anyways, so at the end of it, it's largely because Barbara pushed back against the Doctor that they eventually got out of this mess. And Barbara is a little bit traumatized by the whole experience.
And the doctor tries to apologize to her, and I think it's at this point he realizes, okay, yeah, no, it's actually worth having these two around. I'm not going to try getting rid of them anymore.
I may be smarter than them, but they've got that human tenacity. There's a lot to respect.
Because he definitely becomes a lot nicer to them for the remainder of their run.
He becomes a lot less misanthropic. Because he realizes the use in having allies, which is a very cynical way of looking at it. He doesn't, like... I'll put it this way. The Doctor doesn't become a full-blown hero until, like, the third season. I think around the time of the War Machines. It's
so, like, the end of the third season.
And, like, the end of the third season is right around where he fully embraces being a hero. Because the rest of the time, he's just like, I'm exploring and trying not to die. Or he's getting up to shenanigans of his own machinations, like in the
I want to say the Massacre.
Not just the Massacre, but like the Reign of Terror, especially.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Where he's getting up to all sorts of shenanigans.
Like that's basically him playing the same role in both of those stories.
Yep.
Him just going off and doing his own thing while everybody else is trying to figure out what's going on.
While everyone else is in great peril, by the way. I'll put it this way: for the rest of the first season, I'll put it this way: the Doctor is never really in danger. I'll put it this way: he's never really in danger. He's off doing his own things, while everyone else, especially, is in peril. Like Reign of Terror, he's off doing his own thing. He's never in danger. Like he maybe gets into trouble like once or twice, but like he manages to escape from that rather easily. And then like the Keys of Marinus, he disappears for like 2 episodes. I'm not even kidding.
No, I know. And I remember the exact context as to why.
Yeah. He's just like
we'll get to that when we do Keys of Marinus.
I just love how he's just like, I'm gonna go on ahead. You guys got this. When they really don't. Fucking Doctor. The first Doctor's he's great. He's so fun. Such an asshole too, though. You guys got this. I'm gonna dip. See ya.
Doctor out.
Doctor, peace. I mean, shit. In Marco Polo, even the very next serial, he's kind of off doing his own thing. Like, yeah, all of them are in peril in Marco Polo, but the Doctor is also has his most wits about him, and he also can kind of go tete for tete with everybody, with all the other side characters. He's never really in danger in that one, outside of him just like dehydrating to death.
Yes, so Brink of Destruction, or what's the second one?
Yeah.
Brink of Destruction? Brink of Annihilation?
Brink of Disaster.
Brink of Disaster.
Edge of Destruction, Brink of Disaster.
Okay, at the end of Brink of Destruction, Brink of Disaster, at the end of the Edge of Destruction storyline, they wind up in a very snowy place, and Susan finds a giant footprint.
Which is believed to be from a Yeti.
Except at the beginning of the next episode, it's like, no, it's just a regular footprint. It just melted a bit. So that brings us to the roof of the world.
So we get to the Marco Polo serial, which if you can't guess by the title of the serial,
and how much longer this video is,
it's about Marco Polo,
and it's gonna be quite a bit long.
The actual Marco Polo, like the the Italian explorer who went to China.
As opposed to the children's game?
Yes. You don't know. Could have been.
But considering that this is early Doctor Who, and
could have been,
and we just had 2 sci-fi stories,
don't question it. No, just don't question it.
We're doing a history story.
All right, so we're introduced to a couple of side characters very quick. There's Tagana. There's Marco Polo.
There's the Mongolian warlord Tagana. There's Marco Polo, and then there's the young Ping Cho,
who is a lady in waiting,
and who is arranged to be married to a much older gentleman that she has never met before. Damn. And Susan is like, wait, really? Seriously?
Damn, you know what? That sounds kind of like Crusader Kings for a second. Hey there, my 0-year-old daughter. I'm gonna marry you off to this 50-year-old once you turn 16. For that sweet, sweet alliance. Why, you don't like the 50-year-old Holy Roman Emperor? I'm the King of England. I need that alliance, god damn it. You're gonna marry that 50-year-old and you're gonna fucking like it. I need that prestige.
I think a good chunk of this story can be summed up like this. Tagana does something shady, gets called out on it, Marco Polo confronts him, and he's like, no, I didn't. And then Marco Polo's like, well, that checks out.
All right, let's just point it out. Right, Tagana's the villain of the story.
It's barely even.
He when he is immediately introduced, he tries to have the party killed.
Although, admittedly, since we just got introduced to him, he does have the reasonable excuse of, maybe they're demons or other magical creatures that are trying to undo our good work.
Yeah.
People say that there are demons in this mountain. They might be there.
Which tracks for Chinese mythology, to be honest, because if you've ever read Journey to the West, there's a lot of mountain demons and a lot of mountain gods, and it's all very confusing. So, sure, why wouldn't the Mongols, who probably ended up converting to Confucianism and all that once they controlled China during that time period, moving on from Tengriism, which is a whole different set of beliefs, but that's neither here nor there. That's a historical thing. Long story short, Tagana's like, evil spirits! And the party's like, no, we ain't. And Marco Polo's like, no, they ain't. And Tagana's like, okay, I don't trust him, though. I don't trust you, Marco Polo. And Marco Polo's like, well, I don't trust you either. But I will take everything you say with
at face value. And there actually is a moment, like in the second half of this story, where Marco Polo does actually clarify why he takes Tagana at his word compared to the others. It's because Tagana is an important figure for the peace talks that are to come. And these guys they just found on a mountain with a magical box.
Well, so what we get from the background story is Ping Cho is an arranged marriage. Tagana is a warlord who is going off to the court of Kublai Khan as an ambassador for the other Mongol hordes.
No guy.
For no guy, yep. And then Marco Polo is escorting both of them because he works at the court of Kublai Khan.
And he wants to present the TARDIS to Kublai Khan in the hopes that will give him enough leniency to go back to Italy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So basically, the TARDIS is a captive this entire story. Basically.
Mm-hmm. And this is, and for the record, this is the late 1200s. This is 1296 or so.
I do not have an exact date. Granted, a lot of these stories don't have exact dates. Yeah.
Yeah. So
also, Ping Cho is a fiance is like 75 years old. So it's even worse than we thought.
Yep. Oh no! Hey, I'm just saying that 50-year-old Holy Roman Emperor. I need that alliance. Whenever I play Crusader Kings 2 or 3, if I have a surplus of children, I just marry off the women.
In a video game.
Gotta marry off the women. The men?
In a video game.
The men? Well, to be fair, actually, no. You should actually give the women matrilineal marriages so your dynasty grows.
I don't play this game, so I don't know most of what it's talking about.
So a matrilineal marriage is where the children inherit from the mother's side, not necessarily from the male side. It's where they keep the mother's name instead of the husband's.
Okay.
The father. So that's matrilineal marriage. If you could do it, do it. Grow your dynasty, and then you get lots of grandkids.
In a video game.
In a video game.
Gotta clarify that it's in a video game. Don't wanna get something out of context, and now this video is taken down.
Ah, damn! My 16-year-old genius son just died. I guess I'll have to go with my inbred fucking grandson now.
In a video game.
In a video game. Dang. So yeah, Tagana's an asshole. And he throughout the entire serial, he tries to get Marco Polo killed.
Meanwhile, a good chunk of the story is the Doctor trying to fix the TARDIS because of what happened in the last story.
From what happened in the last story, it broke down.
So he's trying to fix it, and Marco Polo's like, well, I'll let you fix it, then I'm giving it to Kublai Khan. The Doctor's like, no.
No, you can't do it.
Oh, yeah? Well, I've got your key. What are you going to do about that now?
Dang.
I'll just have to use the second key that I've got.
Oh! At one point, like, the Doctor is dying from thirst. And
because they're traveling through, like, the desert, and they're running incredibly low on water.
And
thanks, Tagana.
Yeah, Tagana ruins their entire water supply. We don't have to go through every episode, but we can do the abridged version.
Yeah.
It'll be much easier and much more concise.
Yeah, I watched through this storyline in full 3 times. Once just when we were watching the show, second time when we were going to do this podcast months ago, and then a third time when we were going to do this podcast weeks ago. I kind of got sick of it.
It's a good story, though.
It is a good story, but it's so kind of dull, especially when you're more familiar with the later Doctor Who stories. Like, this one is, pardon the pun, pretty dry.
And we go through several cities, by the way, before we can get to Kublai Khan's court in Cathay. Cathay, China, modern day China.
I don't know if they're saying cafe or Cathay.
It's Cathay.
Okay.
Cathay.
Because they kind of pronounce it in a way that sounds like cafe. I was like, is that...
It's what China used to be called.
Right. They established that in the story.
Yep.
It's just the way they pronounce it was confusing to me. And I wasn't sure.
And they travel throughout a bunch of stories, but Tagana, like, destroys their water supply throughout the desert because he cuts open their water bags and everything. And like he volunteers to go to an oasis that's like a couple miles to the north, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll come back with water." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And off he goes, and they put the Doctor inside the TARDIS, and they also bring Susan there too, because
the Doctor is dehydrated and suffering, and like, at least let him stay in the shade of the TARDIS. It's like, Margaret's like, yeah, okay.
And then they discover condensation on the walls, and they bring it out, and that's how they manage to survive. And Marco Polo, at first, he's angry, and then he's like,
"You have water?" It's like, "No, we don't. We didn't have water. It was just really cold last night, and so when it got warm today, it made condensation inside the TARDIS. We got a bunch of water. We're fine." And Marco Polo is like, I have seen this phenomenon before. You have stayed your execution.
He's like, I've seen this before. Yes. And Tigana later on, he's like, do you believe them? And then Tigana's like, listen, dude.
Marco Polo.
Yeah, no, Tigana was like, what? Why didn't you kill them? They lied about having water. And Marco Polo's like, listen, dude, I'm about to bitch slap some knowledge into your head. I've seen this before. I've seen it before. Back in Italy, back in the old times. I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adventurer.
That's like the one time he actually pushes back against Tigana.
Oh, well, and they
doesn't take Tigana at his word.
And they get to the oasis, right? And so Barbara's like, hey, Tigana, there were a bunch of bandits here, you said, right? Where's the fire? And Marco, and then Ian is just like, she's right. It was really cold last night. Don't you think they'd want a fire? And Marco Polo goes, they're right. It was really cold last night. Don't you think they'd want a fire?
And Tigana's like, nope.
No, they wanted to conceal their presence. And Marco Polo's like, you got me there. Flawless logic. I can't argue it. Damn.
And it just keeps going.
It just keeps going from there.
They travel across the Singing Sands, which is the name of the next story.
There's also a part where Ping Cho and Susan try to run away from the caravan for whatever fucking reason. I think it's because Ping Cho tells the story of how of her arranged marriage, and Susan's like,
"We gotta get the F out of here.
We gotta get the fuck out of here." So they start going through the desert at night,
and Tigana finds them.
And Tigana brings them
in the middle of a sandstorm.
In the middle of a sandstorm, and Tigana brings them back. And Marco Polo's like, "What were you doing out there, Tigana?" And Tigana's like, "I was on a walk. It was a nice night out." What? Big whoop. Want to fight about it?
No, your logic checks out.
Your logic checks out. It was a nice night.
It's like Tigana's a Jedi mind master.
Yeah.
It was a nice night.
It was a nice night. It was a nice night, guys. That's why my good friend Tigana was out there.
That great guy that I used to fight with, he's awesome.
He's awesome. Meanwhile, Ping Cho, Susan, what the hell were you doing out there? It was a nice night? I don't believe you. Listen, you're not my good friend Tigana.
That all happens before the whole water debacle.
Yeah.
Which is what leads into which is how we start the third episode, 500 Eyes.
And what's funny about that too is like Tigana and there's one scene where it's just Tigana and Marco Polo together, and Tigana's like, "What the hell are you writing?" And Marco Polo's like, "It's my journal." And Tigana's like, "Why?" And Marco Polo's like, "You'll understand someday."
I'm sure somebody will want to read this.
I'm sure somebody will want to read the adventures of Marco Polo, which, by the way, in real life, he made up a bunch of shit. A bunch of the shit that he wrote about never fucking happened. Because he's a fucking liar.
Except for the stuff in this episode.
Except for this episode. Yes.
This totally happened.
This totally happened. He totally met a group of 4 people on a mountain with a strange box. I love
a strange box the color of the sky.
I love how when Tigana is explaining it to Marco Polo, he's like, "Listen, Marco, you don't understand. I saw 4 people come out of that box. 4 people. It's a box. How the hell are 4 people gonna fit in there?" And Marco Polo's like, "I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation." Which eventually he does get the explanation, but he finds it hard to believe.
It's like, okay, I'm willing to believe a lot.
You're telling me that this box is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and it could fly through time and space? Yes, that's right, Marco Polo. Well, shit, Kublai Khan's definitely gonna give me my freedom then. If what you're saying is true, I get to go back to Italy. That's his logic, by the way.
But yeah, after they manage to deal with their water situation, they arrive at the way station of Tung Huang.
which is where they get to learn about the Hashashin, which is, for historical context, the Hashashin was a Muslim sect of assassins, which is where the word assassin comes from.
Which this story actually does explain.
Yep, they were. It was like a very private Muslim sect, like very specifically like a certain sect of Muslims. They got their names from the cannabis that they smoked, the hashish, which is a precursor to modern marijuana, by the way. So, fun fact. And they eventually were killed off in the 1200s, like the mid 1200s.
Which leads us to the story of the Cave of 500 Eyes, which is apparently where they were killed or something.
Yeah, which is where their heads were, with their faces were painted, and they would stare at people.
And Tagana makes his way there, and Barbara wanders her way there, wanting to look. And Tagana's like, shit, I was followed, wasn't I? Even though he really wasn't.
That's okay, I'll just kill them.
Malik, Acromat! Capture her!
Yeah. I think Barbara gets away, though.
It's only because the doctor, Susan, and Ping Cho come to the cavern looking for her.
Mm-hmm. And so Tagana's like, shit, foiled again. Ah, well, let's keep going on our journey together, friends.
Which brings us to the Wall of Lies, in which they find Barbara and save her.
Yep.
And
Tagana's like, friends, who would like a hug? I promise not to stab you.
Even though it's like, no, we don't trust you. You do that.
Tagana's Melvin in this story. Who wants a hug? He's just utterly... What a lovely day it is. You take that back, villain! So we get to the next episode, and I think this is the episode where Ping Cho runs away again, and I think Susan lets her out, but Ping Cho gets caught by a human trafficker.
No, not quite yet. This is the doctor manages to get into the TARDIS with his second key, and they get caught.
Yep.
And Polo is like, you know what? Ping Cho, you've been spending too much time with Susan. No more.
You get no more.
And you guys gotta stay in a tent when we're not traveling that's going to be guarded.
Yeah?
Then they arrive at the Great Wall of Cathay.
Yep. And Ping Cho runs away.
No, episode 4 ends with Ian cutting his way out of the tent and finding one of the guards dead.
Oh.
Which brings us to Ryder from Shang 2, in which Tagana thwarts the attackers.
Allegedly.
With the help of exploding bamboo.
Which is, yeah. I don't think this actually comes up in the abridged version, though.
Yeah.
This is one of the... there's scenes like this that are just there to kind of pad out the story.
It's kind of like watching all 7 episodes so many times kind of gets dull.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I kind of prefer the abridged version.
But because of Ian and the others' help in this situation, he's like, okay, you no longer have to be guarded all the time anymore. You can walk free again.
And then Ping Cho runs away.
I mean, I think eventually.
I mean, let's just get to the Ping Cho running away, because she does that, and Ian volunteers to go back for her.
No, this episode ends with them making their way into the TARDIS, which is now fixed.
Oh.
And Susan deciding, no, I want to go say goodbye to Ping Cho. And then Tagana's like, no, you're not. Get out of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Which then brings us to episode 6, Mighty Kublai Khan. Which I'm pretty sure is where she runs off by the end of the episode.
She runs away and gets caught by a human trafficker. Because she's like, I need passage back to my homeland or whatever.
No, she isn't captured by a human trafficker. She just gives all her money under the assumption that he's going to keep his promise.
Yeah, and he's not. Because he plans on trafficking her. He goes, oh no! You ran away from Kublai Khan's court? Oh, I'm gonna have a big reward for this. And then Ian stumbles upon her. And he's just like, nope, you're coming back with me, Ping-Cho. You're gonna have to get married. And Ping-Cho's just like, no, don't marry me off to the 75-year-old.
Okay, so it's not a human trafficker. This guy is trying to steal the TARDIS, and Ian and Ping-Cho come across him. And Tagana kills him when he shows up. And while Ping-Cho and Ian are both like, this guy was working with this bandit. He said so himself. And one of Kublai Khan's men is like, well, I didn't hear him say anything about that.
I don't know what you're talking about. And then we're introduced to Kublai Khan, of course. And they're like, kowtow! Kowtow!
And the doctor's like, I really, really can't!
He's like, I'm going, goddammit!
I'm going, goddammit, but I'm old. As our esteemed host can probably attest.
And Kublai Khan's like, oh!
An old fucker!
And Kublai Khan's like, oh, you're old too? Come, join me, we'll have some old...
We'll play some backgammon!
Come, join me, we'll do old man activities.
We'll go travel back to the capital together!
We'll travel together, I'll show you the Schwitz! Schwitz is a Yiddish word for sauna, by the way. We'll play backgammon and chess and all sorts of things.
I can't remember if it's in this episode or the next one.
I think it's the next episode where Kublai Khan and the Doctor are playing like
backgammon. The episode. This is the final episode. Assassin in Peking. The Doctor and Kublai Khan are playing backgammon with stakes.
Yep. And so the Doctor has won, like, here's an entire city for you, 20 elephants, 40 horses, 10,000 pounds of gold.
This pretty vase.
This pretty vase. What else do you bet? And the Doctor's like, I bet my TARDIS.
Yeah. The gift from Marco Polo to me?
No, the Doctor goes, listen, all this stuff is fine, fantastic in fact, but I'm willing to bet it all on my TARDIS. And the Kublai Khan's like, yes, this sounds like a good idea. And long story short, Kublai Khan wins.
Yeah.
And the Doctor's like, here.
Well, he gave me some money.
He gave me some money for a consolation prize. And he's laughing to himself while Susan's just like, no! We're never gonna get out of here! And the Doctor's like, the Doctor knows, like, they're gonna get out of there. He knows that they're gonna get out of there, but he's just having a bit of crack. He's having a crack. And eventually, then we get the scene where Tagana finally shows his true colors. I'm shocked, Tagana. Marco Polo is like, Tagana, my most trustworthy friend. You would betray us? Tagana's like, I've been trying to betray you the whole fucking time, dude.
You just have been too stupid to notice. In fact, these travelers have called me out on every instance. They've been fucking right. No wonder I want to overthrow you.
No wonder why I want to kill Kublai Khan.
He's an idiot. He's an old idiot.
Great Emperor, in my defense, he's an idiot. I have been trying to kill him for weeks straight, and somehow this idiot keeps lucking into living. These guys, they're evil demons. I don't know how you even trust them. My God, you're an idiot. Everyone here is an idiot. You're all going to die. I'm going to kill you all now. And unfortunately, Tigana then gets killed.
Yeah. Because his plan backfires when Marco Polo valiantly fights him off to save Kublai Khan. And thanks to their part in the whole effort to stop a war from happening, the Doctor and his friends are given the key to the TARDIS and they're allowed to just leave.
And they leave. And Marco Polo and Kublai Khan are watching, and Marco Polo's like, dang, I guess I'm never going back to Italy.
Well, look at it this way. You're going to have a hell of a story to tell your friends when you get back to Italy.
Really? You'd let me go back?
Oh, and Pincho, your fiance, died. If you want to go home, you can, but if you want to stay here with us for a while, we're cool with that. And Pincho's like, yeah, I think I'll stay here for a while.
I think I'll appreciate the hospitality. Thank you very much. Yeah. Marco Polo is a bit of a dumb story, but it's got its moments.
Yeah. Like, for as dull as I think the overall story is, it does have some great moments, and I think that does make it worth watching at least once.
And I think that's why they specifically cut it down the way they did in the DVD set to like the 40 minutes to 70 minutes version. It cuts it down, makes it more concise, cuts out all the fat, and you get Marco Polo's narration, which he does do throughout the serial. But you get the important bits. You get Tigana being a bastard, Tigana ruining their water supply, Tigana lying about the bandits in the Oasis. You get the condensation scene. You get the singing sand. It's a nice night out. That's why I went out by Tigana. You get the cave. You get Pincho running away, and you get the scenes in Kublai Khan's court. Really, no fluff. There's little fluff in the abridged version, which is nice.
This is, again, still the earliest story that is still completely lost, and as far as I'm aware, it's like the furthest thing on their mind when it comes to actually reanimating this story.
This story doesn't really need to be reanimated, to be honest.
I mean, I feel like they should just for the sake of completeness, but the main reason why they have been so hesitant to do so is because of the fact that there are a lot of characters and different locations throughout the story that they would have to dedicate a lot of time and effort into making, and all the costume changes that occur over the course of the story.
And another thing I would also probably imagine would be that it's kind of culturally insensitive, only slightly.
I mean, how many of these Asian characters are played by just British people?
Oh, just wait till you get to the talons of Wing Chun.
Just from that title alone, it's like, oof.
I'll give you a preview. Okay, it's a Fourth Doctor story set in London, but think of actors in yellowface.
Yeah.
Yep, it's really bad. Man, a bit of a downer for that.
Yeah.
What would you rate Edge of Destruction and Marco Polo?
Edge of Destruction, I'd give an 8.
See, I love Edge of Destruction because of its atmosphere. I give it like a 10 out of 10. Like, the ending is a bit silly and contrived, but I vibe with it just because it is such a funny release valve for everything that had been building up in the throughout the 60 minutes.
As close to destruction as we came, turned out it was just a spring that was faulty. Just like such a simple thing that could have just absolutely destroyed us if we hadn't found it in time. And Marco Polo, I give it a 5 out of 10 because maybe it's the fact that I've watched through it 3 times just for this one podcast. Okay, 2 times for this podcast, 3 times total. But
would you like to hear something crazy? I've only watched halfway through the unabridged version. I ended up getting stalled for time, and I had to watch the abridged version Because I was like, oh, that's okay, I'll finish this, and then a bunch of stuff happened. And of course, I also got a new job, for anybody who's wondering. It's full-time job, and I'm working like 45 hours a week, at least. So, that's where I'm at right now.
But there are more opportunities to get these podcasts out.
Right. So, I would say, yeah, Edge of Destruction, I'd give a 10 out of 10. Marco Polo, I'd give like a 6. It has its moments, but overall, the unabridged, overall, not that great. Abridged is like it bumps it up to a 7 because it's short, it's concise, you get all the main moments you need.
I am looking forward to the day when it does get reanimated so that I can finally have the complete first season on Blu-ray sitting on my shelf.
Yep. Meanwhile, I've got the first...
Because this is literally the only story of the first season that is not completely available.
And it's actually a shock, to be honest, how the first season managed to survive.
Like, aside from this whole story, there were just like 2 episodes of Reign of Terror that were lost. And everything else was intact. Or at least found enough for DVD release.
Like, it's shocking that you get a majority of the first season, and the second season, a ton of stuff is missing. The third season, a ton of stuff is missing. The fourth season...
Actually, of the second season, only 2 episodes of the Crusades
are
missing.
Oh.
They didn't even bother reanimated them. They just released telesnap versions for the Blu-ray release.
Fair enough.
Which is like fair. Just 2 episodes.
The third season, a bunch is missing.
Oh, absolutely.
The fourth season, over half the season is missing. 2/3 of the season is missing. The fifth season, a lot is missing. The sixth season, not so much. Yeah. That one's not missing as much. And thank God we ended up getting the War Games not missing at all. Because that one is... once we get to it...
yeah.
Spoilers, that one's a 10 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I do have to agree on that, yeah.
The best finale. Best finale for any Doctor, in my opinion. Even like Legopolis or Planet of Spiders or like, yeah.
Those are just kind of going over my head because I don't recognize Legopolis, but only because you have that.
Only because I have that and I've watched the shit out of it. Recommendations?
We don't usually do them on this.
Oh, we don't. That's right.
No, we usually do it for, the regular Barry podcasts. ProtoBalls Talk podcast.
Yes.
Or did I call it Barry podcast?
Because I'm most important. Yeah, check out these fucking guns.
This checks out.
Tagana, what do you think of this? It was a nice night out. I agree.
I agree.
It
was a nice night.
Tagana, you are right. Like, I'm shocked at just, like, how much Marco Polo just takes it at face value, And
that's, again, one of the biggest criticisms I have with this story.
It's because Marco Polo's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Tagana is...
Tagana, are you being bad?
Nope.
All right. Good enough for me.
Ian, Barbara, Doctor, Susan.
How could you speak ill of Tagana when he's such an angel?
I'm going to kill you all in your sleep. See? An angel! To be fair, would not be the first time that that a side character in Doctor Who is incredibly dumb. There's a ton there that are just...
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Hell, there's some that are only in, like, a couple episodes that die to their own stupidity, even, which is... Oh.
So, yeah, this is... Marco Polo is far from the worst story. I can definitely think of some worse stories.
Stick around, you'll get to some bad ones.
I'm sure I will. I have encountered at least a couple.
And from here on out, we actually have about 4 stories left of the first season, We've got, coming up next, it's the Keys of Marinus, and after that, it's the Aztecs, then it's the Centaurans, and then finally we get...
Sensorites.
The Sensorites, not the Centaurans. So, it's a lot of S names. The Sea Devils, Sensorites...
Sensorites is one I actually fondly remember, but I'll discuss that when we get there.
It's fine. It's one of the first ones where Susan finally...
Does something?
Of consequence, yeah. Kind of. And then we ended off with the Reign of Terror, which is just peak Doctor shenanigans. As we mentioned, this Marco Polo, it is the Doctor just doing shenanigans and not really having a care in the world.
Yeah, it's really the other characters who are pulling the bulk of the weight. You
know what? I'd like to correct myself. Reign of Terror is not peak Doctor shenanigans. The Romans is peak Doctor shenanigans. Peak First Doctor shenanigans. He does not give a fuck in that entire serial. He's off in his own little world. Everyone else is just like, this is fucking madness, guys! And Doctor's just like, watch me play the lute with silently. And the Emperor's just like, oh, it's truly art. I'm orgasmic. I'm orgasming from the sheer brilliance of this music. Oh!
What, you can't hear it, you Philistines?
You fucking Philistines! You're just not cultured enough! And then in the background, he's like, how dare he play the lute better than me? That motherfucker! I'm going to have him killed! That bastard!
Fucking Nero.
We'll get to the Romans when we get there, but it is...
I mean, that was a good way of summing up the Doctor portion of that. If only you could see what he's doing.
Oh, you can't hear it. It's just because you're not cultured enough. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ian's just like, oh, fuck, I'm stuck on a slave ship. God damn it. Doctor, where the fuck are you? Susan and Barbara.
I need to get back to my wife. I mean, coworker.
I need to get back to 1963! Susan and Barbara are like, well...
Susan's not even there!
Yeah, Susan's gone by this point, yeah, I'm sorry. Susan's off at some deserted...
Not Susan!
Not Susan is hanging around with the Doctor, and Barbara's trying not to get fucking sexually assaulted by Nero. This is facts! This is the truth!
It's insane.
The Romans is insane. I love it. You fool! You've ruined it! My map! Wait, no! It's brilliant! Ah! Doctor, I've really got to thank you! Oh! And then there's the Space Museum, which is also weird.
It's like, I actually have a gif of the Doctor in that I intend to use at some point. That I really intend to use at some point, because I just, like, honestly, when I think of William Hartnell as the Doctor, that moment.
That specific gif that I know that what you're thinking of.
Yes. It's like, oh, that is peak Doctor.
You know what? Speaking of, this is actually just a small side tangent about the Space Museum. How interesting is it that you get... So in the first Doctor, you get the Space Museum, and then in the ninth Doctor, you get an episode that is also set in a space museum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah. Kind of fortuitous, isn't it?
And then there's that second Doctor story where they go to a space museum. Or that's more a museum about space.
A museum about space.
But the semantics is there.
So, yeah. So, Edge of Destruction, 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Marco Polo 6. What would you rate Marco Polo?
I gave it a 5.
Gave it a 5. Oh, okay. I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't know. I don't know if I'd go that.
I mean, I admit that maybe it's just because I've watched it so much and I've grown distasted towards it. I will admit that that's probably it affecting the rating.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, with that said, we're about an hour in. I suppose it's time.
So until next time, I'm ProtoMet.
I am Barry.
See ya.
Bye.